Diego Leone is wrapping up his first week as a Manchester United player, and it's been a busy one for the 18-year-old talent. After being officially announced last Saturday, Leone got the chance to familiarise himself with his new surroundings before the start of pre-season training on Monday morning. Since then, he's been looking to impress on the training ground. And there's one detail in particular that stands out, something that seems like it's becoming a little bit of a tradition under Ruben Amorim's leadership. Let's break down everything that happened in Leone's first days at United. Hello guys, and welcome back to United District, and in today's video we are going to be focusing on Diego Leone and how his first week at Manchester United has gone, because there's a few interesting parts. Now obviously this deal did not just happen last week, it was announced last week, but United agreed this several months ago back in February. Leone couldn't make the move until he was 18. He turned 18, I think, in April, and now the move is official. Leone travelled to Manchester last week. He obviously made some big statements in the airport, which we all saw. He was getting interviewed by a Paraguayan journalist, I believe, spoke about his intentions to really impress in pre-season and essentially say, I don't want to go out on loan. I want to fight for a space in Manchester United's first team. A lot of fans really liked those comments. So he travelled to Manchester, had a few days to settle in, and then it was straight into pre-season action, and that was probably a good thing. It was initially reported that he was going to travel to Manchester a couple weeks earlier, which could have been good as well, but he ended up waiting until the end of June, or the beginning of July, and that actually meant that he arrived, he had a few days to settle in, and he was straight in, getting to know his new teammates, which is probably a good thing. We've seen him in all the training videos. We've seen him working at Carrington. But I did think this was a nice note. Obviously, he had a few days before pre-season training started. And Leny Yoro was supposedly one of the players who helped him settle in during those opening days. Now, of course, we can all go back to last summer. And Yoro was in a very similar position. An 18-year-old, a lot of expectations, more than Leone, coming into Manchester and having to settle in, and Yoro knows what it's like. He's been able to help Leone now, and I think that's a really nice touch. I saw a lot of people mentioning that that's future captain material, and obviously it's one small thing, but I mean, some of the little stories we hear about Bruno Fernandes, like when he's helping Joshua Zirkzee through that really rough period, there's just like small things behind the scenes which, when it gets reported, it's really nice to hear. And obviously this was for Yoro, and that helped Leone settle in, but he's got to know most of the squad now. He's settling in. But the thing I noticed most about his opening days at the club, and United posted this on their social media channels, is that Leone had a tour of Old Trafford with Jason Leach, United's long-standing tour guide, and this could just be something that many of you didn't notice or didn't pay attention to or didn't see. But I found it a little bit significant because if you go back to November last year, Jason Leach was the same guy showing Ruben Amorim around the stadium when he first joined the club. And one of Amorim's first comments as United boss in that first interview with club media was mentioning how important having this tour of the stadium and museum was for him, and how he wanted all new signings to do the same thing. So Amorim said, when you come here, it's so different. You see the trophies, you see the tragedy that we have as a club. So you can understand the history. After the crash, then we were European champions. This kind of strength, I think it is important to put in our team. When the players come here, they should make the same tour with the same guy all the time. I think this is very important to do. Now, I think that's a nice touch that it does seem like, and I remember this was the same case when Patrick Dorgu came in. Dorgu had a tour with the same guide. And I think it is a nice touch that Amorim had that experience himself, and it looks like United's new signings are having the same treatment. I don't recall if there was any media of Cunha doing it, but Cunha is obviously a long-term fan of the club. He's made that pretty clear. But I think players, especially young players, who might not be entirely familiar with the long-standing history at United, this can be a really important touch, although from what we've seen so far, it doesn't seem like Leone is missing too much enthusiasm or determination. But nevertheless, I thought it was an interesting thing to note from those opening days. Now, we've spoke about the tour, we've spoke about integrating. But Leon wanted to get on that training pitch. He made that quite clear, and he's been able to do that. He still doesn't actually have an official shirt number. He might be waiting for a number to free up. I know he actually wore Kobbie Mainoo's number 37 at his old club, so that could be a potential number he's waiting for if Kobbie wants to get a better number, maybe 14 or something. Let's wait and see what happens. But in terms of the training, Leon's impressed so far. Of course, as fans, we've only seen a few short clips, so there's not too much to go off for us directly. But there was an article in the Manchester United app which did mention a few of the bits from the opening days of pre-season. And there was a section which did note that Amorim was pleased with Leon's intensity, which, I mean, from all we know about this kid so far, it does seem like his intensity, that determination, is going to be the thing which might push him into Amorim's plans. Tom Heaton also praised Leon for his start in these opening days. So it is early days. It's only been 5 days of training so far, but it's a good start for Leon, and he's going to be wanting to get on the pitch against Leeds and show Ruben Amorim why he should be playing for the first team. He wants to make that step up. It will be interesting because Harry Amas is also there. He also wants to challenge Patrick Dorgu for that left wing back spot. But it's nice to have competition, and Leon has clearly got off to a good start. So in terms of what happens next for Leon, obviously he's just going to be working hard on the training pitch, waiting for that Leeds game, waiting to see if he potentially goes on the US tour, because then that's extra game time to try and impress Amorim. But yeah, he's going to be focused on that. He's also probably going to be focused on trying to get relationships with his new teammates, not just off the pitch, but also on the pitch, on the training field. Because in his position, that's probably one of the most important aspects. For the wing-backs in Amorim's system, they need to be on the same wavelength as that number 10 in front of them. We saw how it hindered United last year, the fact that Garnacho and Dorgu barely ever seem to be on the same page. Obviously, we'll learn more about Leon's playstyle from all that we've heard about and some of the clips we've seen. It looks like he's dangerous going forward, might need some work at the back. But if he can show that ability in training and in these pre-season games to link up and know when to make runs, when to pass inside, etc. with that number 10, then he could have a good chance at pushing first team football. But as I mentioned in the previous video about him, the plan for him at the moment is similar to the one which Sekou Kone had when he first joined. Get that experience with the first team behind the scenes in training, but in terms of match play and getting game time, he will probably start in the under-21s. But, I mean, this kid has got a real determination that I don't think no one would be surprised if he potentially pushed for first team in the next couple of months. It's definitely an interesting topic. I'm looking forward to seeing Leon play for United. I'm looking forward to seeing United play. This transfer period has been boring. It's been long. It's been a little bit depressing, but we're going to be seeing United players on the pitch soon. Maybe when that comes, we'll regret it, but as we're waiting for it, I can't wait. So yeah, let me know all your thoughts on Leon in the comments below. Do you think he's going to impress Amorim this season? Do you reckon he'll fast track his way into the first team setup that way? Yeah, let me know below. Like the video if you've enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. It would be much appreciated. And that's all from me. We'll see you in the next one.